Welcome back to the channel, my friends. Warhammer Man Studios, I'm Warhammer Man, and today we're taking a look at this week's Sunday preview. This video is sponsored by the Game Bunker. More on that later. Sunday preview. Muster the Knights and Templars of the far future. Demons, heretics, traitors, xenos. The galaxy is so filled with horrors that you can't even swing a power sword without hitting some monstrosity or other. Thankfully, the cleanup squads are on the way. The Black Templars rage across stars on the endless war footing, while the Grey Knights wage a quiet war against the ruinous powers. The only question that stands is black or silver. Alright, so we have the Black Templars Codex Supplement come in. War is a religious duty for the Black Templars, a sacred vow to fulfill in order to uphold the God Emperor's honor. They wage a ceaseless crusade against the enemies of the Imperium, cleansing their foes with bolt, blade, and torrents of purifying fire. Codex Supplement Black Templars acts as an expansion of Codex Space Marines, providing you with 3 detachments and 18 datasheets you need to command the Black Templars on the tabletop, alongside in-depth background lore and miniature galleries that capture their particular brand of zealous fury. Alright, so we have the Special Edition Codex Black Templars with the cool cover, and then we also have the Codex Black Templars Supplement. So keep in mind, you will need the Space Marine Codex to go along with this, but it will be priced cheaper to reflect that you need both. You also will get the digital code with each. Alright, and then we have the first of the new Black Templars models, the Crusade Ancient, and this is an absolutely awesome sculpt. We have an optional assembly, so you have like the option of the orc skull or the shield. Very, very cool model here. The Black Templars have vast collections of relics, including revered banners and icons that depict their numerous victories. When these are held by the Crusade Ancients, their fellow warriors are incentivized to even greater heights of zealotry, fighting to their very last breath. The banner in the kit has 2 options, letting you build a banner with a blank shield or with a heraldry of Armageddon Crusade. And we've already seen some rules preview on this guy, and it looks like he's going to be giving Fight on Death to either attached or nearby squads. We're not sure about that yet, but Fight on Death, obviously a crucial ability for any combat army. Very, very cool. And next we have the Execrator. Again, very cool model right here. Again, we can see the optional assembly, either with the flame pistol or the power sword. Awesome pose. And then, of course, we have the helmeted option or the bare head. The ferocious warrior priests known as Execrators are some of the most devoted Space Marines in the ranks of the Black Templars. They wade into battle roaring hate-fueled litanies and sermons, leading their battle brothers in furious rampages. This kit comes with a bare and helmeted heads, 2 different Crozius toppers, and a choice of either an outstretched arm wielding an Absolver bolt pistol or pyre pistol, or a curled arm holding a power sword or relic. And again, we saw a preview on this guy's rules, and it looks like he's going to have a massive amount of attacks if you give him the Crozius and sword. I think they said 8 in the previous article, so very cool. Not sure exactly what abilities he's going to grant yet, but I believe there was some mention of advance and charge. So if you can join this guy to a unit and give that unit advance and charge, again, that is going to be a very powerful ability in the arms of the Black Templars. And next we have the new Black Templar Combat Patrol, and I gotta say, I think this one is an upgrade over the previous one. I am super excited for this. No transgression escapes the ever-watchful eye of the Black Templars. The vast crusades often sending splinter forces to hunt down foes who have drawn their vehement ire. The Black Templars Combat Patrol is led by the Emperor's Champion, who leads a force of 3 Blade Guard veterans, 5 Sword Brethrens, and 10 Crusaders, who charge headlong into combat to slaughter their foes. This box also contains 2 transfer sheets, each containing 240 transfers. So very cool, a Black Templars Combat Patrol almost exclusively made up of models that are specific to the Black Templars. The only exception being the Blade Guard veterans, and they are still awesome in a Black Templars force. This is a great box set.
Now a quick word from today's sponsor, Game Bunker. Game Bunker carries a full range of Games Workshop products, including miniatures, terrain, paint tools, and more. Game Bunker offers 15% off MSRP for most Games Workshop products with the discount code WHMS. Receive free shipping in the continental United States on orders over $145. Online orders ship out within 24 hours. Game Bunker is a veteran-owned business. Use affiliate link below. Enter discount code WHMS to save 15% on most items at checkout. For fast, friendly service with a discount on your favorite tabletop wargaming purchases, visit GameBunker.net and let them know that Warhammer Man sent you.
And next we have the Black Templars Datasheet cards and dice. A well-organized crusade is a successful crusade, and the set of 23 reference cards, including datasheets for Combat Patrol and all the units found in Codex Supplement Black Templars, will keep your table and mind tidy. Roll well, meanwhile, with a set of 16 pearlized black and gray dice, dotted with red ink on the pips and the logo of the Black Templar on the 6-face. And once again, some really nice dice right here. I have definitely been getting tempted lately, but of course the dice boycott continues. And if you're not familiar with the dice boycott, basically a few years ago when Games Workshop raised the price of the dice and decreased the quantity from 20 down to 16, I decided that I was going to boycott Games Workshop's dice and stop buying them. Since then, I have not bought probably dozens, if not like 50 sets of dice that I would have otherwise purchased, as I used to pick up just about all of the faction dice and oftentimes multiple sets of them. So while I'm sure me not purchasing the dice is completely inconsequential to Games Workshop, I drew my line in the sand and I've been sticking with it ever since. And while I do miss out on some of the cool dice and wish I would have picked up a couple of them as I really like them, I have no regrets. Alright, and then moving over to the Grey Knights, we have Codex Grey Knights. The Knights of Titan wage an endless secret war against the ruinous powers to keep reality itself safe. Armed with the Nemesis Force weapons and psi-active firearms to cut down the heretic and demon alike. Codex Grey Knights gives you all the tools you need to field them in battle. It contains 5 detachments and 25 datasheets supported by clandestine background information for the most secret of orders. So once again we have a special edition codex and then of course the standard codex as well. All going to have these same contents, just a little different of a presentation, a little fancier with the special edition codex. And then of course you're going to have the digital code for the app with either. And then for the Grey Knights, we have Battleforce Sanctic Conclave. The Sanctic Conclave is a rapid response force, led by the Grandmaster and Nemesis Dread Knight with a new upgrade frame that includes Nemesis Flail and Subliminator weapon options. So it is the old Dread Knight, but it does have an additional new frame that's going to allow you to make him into the Nemesis Dread Knight Grandmaster. You're going to have 2 new weapon options. And then you're going to have 2 squads of 5 Terminators that also build the Paladins. And then you're going to have 2 squads of 10 of the Infiltrators that have 2 other optional build assemblies as well. Unfortunately, these are all old models and Grey Knights are desperately in need of a refresh. And while the upgrade frame is cool and it's going to add some well-needed upgrades to the actual Nemesis Dread Knight himself, these guys just really look outdated once you put them on the tabletop, as they are the old mini Marines. And standing next to like the new Primary Scale Marines or the Primary Scale Terminators, they just look absolutely pathetic. Alright, and then here we can see a close-up of the Nemesis Dread Knight. Alright, and then here we can see a close-up of the Nemesis Dread Knight and then the optional assembly. So we have the mace and flail. We have some other little upgrades as well. So cool little upgrade frame, but desperately needs some new kits. He's accompanied by 5 Brotherhood Terminators, 5 Paladins, and 20 strong complement of Grey Knights, which can be built into Strike, Interceptor, Purifier, or Purgation squads. And next we have the Grey Knight Combat Patrol. When the Grey Knights need to exercise a threat with precision, they may send Crow's Sanctifiers on a covert mission. The Combat Patrol is led by Castellan Crow himself, a legend of the Knights of Titan. He is accompanied by a 10-strong strike squad, 5 Brotherhood Terminators, and Venerable Dreadnought for eliminating monsters and vehicles. So here we can see Castellan Crow is a new model, and then obviously he's a character model and on a tactical rock as well. But next to the mini Marines, he just absolutely dwarfs them and just makes them look pathetic. I do really like the old Grey Knight sculpts, and I think they look super cool. They just need like a 20 to 25% increase in size and just a little bit of an upgrade, and they would look absolutely amazing. The Venerable Dreadnought is the same deal. He looks absolutely pathetic next to like a Redemptor chassis. And of course, same thing with the Terminators. So cool Combat Patrol, not a bad little box right here. But I do think this one once again is a downgrade from the previous Combat Patrol. And then we have the Grey Knights Datasheet cards and dice. Information on the Grey Knights may be secret, but on the tabletop you can bypass the Byzantine protections of this with this set of 30 reference cards, which includes Combat Patrol datasheet cards and all the units from Codex Grey Knights. You can complete your collection with a set of 16 pearlized Grey dice with white pips and the Grey Knights faction icon on the 6 face. So once again, these dice aren't bad. They have the Grey Knights faction icon on the 6 face, but I definitely do not like the white pips on the Grey dice. They're too close in color, and when you're trying to be fast and play your games and get it in, it is way too easy to bypass some misses. So definitely a miss on Games Workshop's part here with white on gray. And next we have the Space Wolves Combat Patrol. The Space Wolves rage across the galaxy, seeking prey to hunt to forge their sagas while defending the Imperium. Askar's Wolfpack is a group of ferocious Fenrisians led by Fury Askar. He takes charge of 10 Impulsive Bloodclaws, 5 Wolfguard Terminators, and 5 Bestial Wolfen. This box also contains a Space Wolf transfer sheet with 419 decals. So very cool box right here. You've got your Bloodclaws, you've got your Wolfguard Battle Leader, you've got 5 of the new Terminators, and then 5 Wolfen. Definitely a nice supplement to go along with the Space Wolf Army Launch Box. And a massive improvement over the previous Space Wolf Combat Patrol, as now this one is much more thematic. It's a bunch of new miniatures. Excellent box right here. I will definitely be picking this up. And next we have the new Tyranid Combat Patrol. Tyranid Hive Fleets send out multiple tendrils to achieve their goal of crushing offenders ahead of consuming all available biomass. An assault brood is a small but flexible contingent of bioforms, led by the parasite of Mortrex. This swift creature is accompanied by 3 Tyrant Guard, a Biovore that provides ranged bombardment in the form of swarm mines, and 10 Gene Stealers who swarm their foes and tear them to shreds with razor-sharp claws. So again, really nice box set right here. Definitely not as good a deal as the previous one, but a lot of that stuff was already in the Leviathan box set or the launch boxes or starter boxes. This has got a nice supplemental force with all models that are different from those, so it'll go along nicely with the previous box set. The value is definitely not as good, but it's a lot of very useful models that you're very likely to want or be willing to take in a larger Tyranid force. Alright, and then we have the Space Wolf Spear of Russ Limited Edition. The sagas of the legendary Ragnar Blackmane continue as he is exiled to Terra for the loss of the Ancient Chapter Relic. He fights with the Wolf Blade, an honor guard of elite warriors against Chaos, embroiled in the ancient rivalry with the Dark Angels and battling the Thousand Suns. The limited edition release of the Wolf Blade by William King, Sons of Fenris by Lee Leitner, and Wolf's Honor by Lee Leitner collects 3 hardback books with yellow cloth covers featuring screen-printed black art. They are contained within a slipcase that features the art of Ragnar Blackmane. This collection is available while stocks last. So very cool, definitely some nice cover art right here, cool little slipcase, and a great way to pick up all 3 of these novels if you are a Space Wolf dedicated player or you just like the lore. Keep in mind these do sell out very quickly. It will have a nice little price tag attached to it, definitely going to be on the expensive side, but it is 3 limited edition books in a slipcase. So if you are after this, make sure you grab it on launch day as it will be gone quickly. And next we have Broken Crusade for the Black Templars. And then we have the Grey Knights, the Omnibus. So lots and lots of cool stuff coming out this week. Definitely a big week for Warhammer 40k. I personally will be picking up some of the Black Templar stuff, some of the Space Wolf stuff as well. Probably just going to pass on the Grey Knights, as honestly I've been waiting on a range refresh to build the Grey Knights army for literally decades, and it looks like I'm going to be waiting a little bit longer. So let me know what you're most excited about. You're going to be picking up some of the combat patrols, some of the books, or just a couple of Black Templar characters. Always like to hear back from you guys in the comments. And as always, special thanks to the Game Bunker for sponsoring the channel. Check out the link in the description to save 15% on most Games Workshop products with code WHMS at checkout. Warhammer Man Studios, I'm Warhammer Man, and I'm out of here.